farm with a heart.
Are these some of the top producers of Pete and Gerry's?
These are some of our top hens, these ladies right here.
Pete and Gerry's fourth-generation family farm is located in the upper valley of the Connecticut River, in the small town of Monroe. In 2003, it became the first egg farm in the country to become certified humane.
Pete and Gerry started with my grandfather shortly after World War II. He was a dive bomber in the Pacific from early on and survived. Came back to Monroe, New Hampshire, where he grew up.
Jesse LaFlamme is the CEO of Pete and Gerry's. It was his grandfather, Les Ward, and great-uncle who began their farm with a few hundred hens. The farm grew, but soon larger industrial egg farms were forcing small farms out of business.
It came to a point where they just couldn't compete anymore, and the farm was going to go out of business. But my parents had the foresight to try something different, to try to change their farming practices, and that's when we started producing organic eggs, which is about 18 years ago now.
Industrial farm, the hens don't have a chance to roam like this at all?
Not at all. They actually never see the light of day. They actually never see natural daylight. And of course they're in these giant sheds where there's, you know, up to 500,000 hens in wire cages. So not a very nice life. In fact, not all of them can typically stand up at the same time. They're in these tight enclosures. Organic egg farming really couldn't be more different. The hens are in a much more natural environment and typically in a much smaller environment, anywhere from a few thousand hens, a few hundred hens, up to 10,000, 20,000 hens in a barn, and they're able to lay their eggs in nests. They're able to roam wherever they want. They're able to perch. Simple way to put it is the hens are able to act like hens, as opposed to being cramped in these wire enclosures.
LaFlamme says there are also no antibiotics in these eggs, and the feed is completely organic.
That means no pesticides, no herbicides, ever used in growing those grains. And then in the barn environment itself, there's no pesticides allowed whatsoever.
From nest to container, the journey of Pete and Gerry's egg travels is fascinating to watch.
The hens lay their eggs in nests, and the nests have sloped floors with an AstroTurf bottom, and the egg rolls down to the back of the nest, and there's a conveyor belt that brings all the eggs to the front. So that's where the farmer collects and gathers them on the egg crates that we provide. And those crates do an incredible job of keeping the eggs intact and in good condition. Every egg that you see in front of you has actually been inspected for cracks, hairline cracks. Any leaking eggs have been removed. They've been checked for any dirt that may be on the shell. The eggs have an address in the packaging line, and they're sent out to packers where 6 eggs at a time are put into the packaging. And this is all happening at nearly 40 eggs a second.
Does color matter depending on the hen?
Yeah, it does. It can reflect a lot of different things. Some of it's just a particular hen will lay a lighter shelled egg than another one. But it can also come from hens that are a little bit older, might lay lighter shelled eggs. The hen has a little bit of a cold, they'll actually lay a lighter shelled egg. So we do try to sort out those egg shells that are really too light and aren't consistent with what we call higher quality dozen of eggs.
On this particular day, by 2 p.m., more than 1 million eggs pass through the packaging facility, and every egg on this conveyor belt is closely watched by this computer.
To see if there's a dirty spot or maybe some yolk on the shell, and it will tell the computer that that's not a good egg or it needs to be rewashed and sorted out from the others.
But not all of these eggs were produced by hens located on the Monroe farm. Pete and Gerry's farms out their business to smaller egg farms across the Northeast, sort of like farm franchises. Jesse explains it's a way to actually help stimulate new farms in an industry that is dying. while keeping Pete and Jerry's from growing too large.
So we realized that we could partner with other small-scale egg farmers who just wanted to be farmers. They really had no interest in packaging, washing and packaging their eggs, and weren't interested in delivering to retailers or talking to retailers. They just wanted to be farmers.
One of those farmers is Tom Giovagnoli of Boscawen. He built this barn on his property. Pete and Jerry's supplies the 20,000 hens and the feed.
Well, half of it, honestly, was try to be able to work farming and actually make money doing it. And this was a great alternative, and organic was kind of right up my alley.
The company is expanding its product line, selling packaged hard-boiled eggs and liquid egg whites. Nellie's free-range eggs are named after Nellie the chicken, Jesse's childhood pet hen.
She'd play in the sandbox with me and ride around on my bike.
Jesse hopes his own 2 young children will one day carry on the family tradition of farming. Jesse's grandfather, Les, passed away 2 years ago at age 97. What would Jesse have to say to his grandfather now?
Gramp, we have 100 family farms that partner with us and that this business is supporting. So he was absolutely amazed by that it could, what he started could evolve into something that was, so large and helping so many farmers.